So before I even do any fill or any mixing of sorts, what I do is I'll usually take a metal trowel so you can hear the twang. And as soon as you know that they're done putting screws in and drywall boards up, I like to slide, and I'm using this one because it's the one I have. You can use whatever one you want. I'm sliding it around so that if you hear a twang, it usually means that the screw isn't buried properly in the drywall. Thus, we're going to have an issue like this. So then what I'll do is take my screwdriver, this one, and I'll screw that in. That's much better. That one's a little bit. Alright, now we're going to take our Drywall 90, and I usually like to start with a bit of water in the pail, mix it separately. So once I have a bit of water in the pail, I grab my patching compound, and what's nice about this stuff is it dries relatively quickly, and I can sand it a little bit at the end if necessary. Pop that open. Got my trowels prepped. Make sure the bucket's clean. Got a nice wipe real quick first. Any bits don't get in the mud. Then I'll pour a little to see where we're at with the consistency. And we mix. If it's too milky and too watery, you add compound. If it's too dry, you add water. It's rocket science. So it's too watery, so we add compound. Usually a sweet spot. And I think we're close, but it still looks a bit soupy. Alright, let's mix that up. Boom, boom. If you've ever done cement or any mixing or concrete of any sort, it's very, very similar. It's still a bit soupy, so I'm going to add a little. Little goes a long way, man. Mixing bucket, it's almost there. Still a bit soupy because we gotta make sure it's just right. We're close. Oh, I think we're very close. You don't want to mix it for too long though. If you mix it for too long, you'll just end up drying it eventually. Alright, that looks like it's enough to push us over the edge here. Should be alright, actually. Let's get some of that in here. The consistency is good, it's not falling off, it's not too bad. I mix it as much as I can quickly so that we can just hammer down a bunch of holes. I usually do a little batch and then I do it again after. Again, putting water in this in between so that anything that's in there stays wet, doesn't dry as quick, so it gives me just to say a bit more time. Alright. That's kind of what we got. Good consistency, and now we can go put it on the wall. So now we take our mud and we go over everything that needs to be filled. So we have our fill coat, and we have then our tape coat, and then there's usually a third or a fourth if you really want to dial it in. There's a lot of people that do different things, but that's the way I prefer to do it. filling holes, filling lines. Super fun, super simple. These weren't bad. Whoever installed these, not too bad of a job at all. Real quick, kind of notice any flexion? No, good. It'll all bond together nicely. Don't want to use too much because you can't quite sand this stuff that well, but you can sand it a little, so if you need to, you can. As you can kind of see, what's nice is some of this stuff's already drying, except the deeper spots, which is great. So drying time about 90 minutes. I can't quite remember if that's exactly what the packaging says, but I've found after a couple hours, like maybe after a morning, I can come back later in the afternoon. Like if I do a coat at 1, it'll probably be dry. So about 4 hours later, guarantee I can get my tape coat on. Unreal.